Let me ask you something honest. When was the last time you checked your bank account and felt good about what you saw? Not nervous, not surprised, not that low-grade anxiety that creeps in when you tap that app icon, but genuinely, calmly good. For a lot of people, that feeling is rare. And it's not because they don't earn enough. It's not because they're irresponsible. It's because no one ever taught them how to be intentional with money. There's a quote, and I want you to sit with it for a second, by John C. Maxwell. A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Read it again. Telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. That one sentence contains everything you need to change your financial life. Today, that's what we're going to unpack. What it means, why it matters, and exactly how to do it. Let's start with the second half of that quote, wondering where it went. You know this feeling. It's the 22nd of the month. You swear you've been careful. You grab a coffee here, skip dinner out there. You didn't do anything crazy, but somehow you're already running low, and payday is still a week away. Where did it go? The honest answer is everywhere, and nowhere you can clearly point to. That's the wondering phase, and the vast majority of adults live here permanently. Studies consistently show that most people cannot accurately tell you what they spent last month, not within hundreds of dollars. We think we know. We feel like we're doing okay, but feeling and knowing are very different things. Here's the trap. When money is invisible, it disappears. Think about it. When you pay with a card, especially a phone tap, there's almost no psychological friction. It doesn't feel like spending. It doesn't feel like anything. Your brain doesn't register loss the way it would if you peeled physical bills from your hand. So you spend and spend and spend. And at the end of the month, you're left standing in the kitchen at midnight, scrolling through transactions going, when did I spend $40 at that place? 3 times? That's wondering. And it is exhausting. The reason it's exhausting isn't just financial, it's emotional. Financial uncertainty creates chronic low-level stress. When you don't know where your money is, you can't make confident decisions. You can't say yes to the things that matter. You can't say no to the things that don't. You just react all month long to whatever comes at you. That is not a life of intention. That is a life of financial chaos dressed up as normalcy. Now let's flip it. The first half of that quote, telling your money where to go. This is budgeting, but not the punishing, restrictive, joyless kind most people picture. Not the spreadsheet that makes you feel guilty for buying a sandwich. Real budgeting isn't about restriction. It's about direction. Here's the mindset shift. A budget is not a cage, it is a map. And here's what changes when you have a map. You stop being surprised. You already know rent is coming. You already know the car insurance is due next week. You planned for it. There's money sitting there, waiting for that exact purpose. No panic, no juggling. You start making choices on purpose. Instead of money flowing out randomly, you decide, in advance, this amount goes to rent, this to food, this to savings, this to entertainment. You are the one in charge, not your impulses, not your habits, not your subscriptions running quietly in the background. You find money you didn't know you had. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. When you actually sit down and assign every dollar a job, you often discover gaps, money that was just floating, no purpose, no destination. A budget captures that money and puts it to work. And here's the thing people don't tell you about budgeting. It actually gives you more freedom to spend, not less. Because when you budget $200 for dining out and you spend $150, you enjoy that meal with zero guilt. You're not wondering if you can afford it. You know you can. The budget already said so. That guilt-free spending? That's the goal. That's what direction feels like. All right, let's get practical. Because a good idea without action is just a quote on a wall. Here's a simple starting framework. 3 steps. Step 1. Know your income. What actually lands in your account every month? Not gross, not what's on your contract. Net, after tax, after deductions. What number hits the bank? Write it down. That number is your starting point. Everything flows from there. Step 2. List your fixed commitments. These are things that happen no matter what. Rent or mortgage, loan repayments, insurance, subscriptions. Write them all down and subtract them from your income. What's left is what you actually have to work with. Step 3. Give every remaining shilling a job. This is the heart of budgeting. Take what's left and divide it intentionally. Groceries, transport, clothing, entertainment, savings, and yes, a small category just for spontaneous living. The number doesn't have to be big, it just has to exist, because when you name it, you own it. Some people use the 50-30-20 rule as a guide: 50% to needs, 30 to wants, 20 to savings or debt repayment. It's not perfect for everyone, but it's a useful starting shape. And here's a key piece of advice: budget before the month begins, not during it. A budget made on the 1st in advance is a plan. A budget made on the 15th is just regret with a spreadsheet. You want to be proactive, not reactive. You don't need fancy software. A notes app works, a piece of paper works. What matters is that you do it with intention before the month starts. I want to zoom out for a moment. This conversation isn't really about spreadsheets or categories or percentages. It's about agency. It's about whether you are in charge of your life or whether you are just reacting to it. Money touches everything: where you live, how you eat, whether you can rest when you're sick, whether you can help the people you love, whether you can take the opportunity when it comes. Financial chaos doesn't stay in the money box. It bleeds into your relationships, your sleep, your self-esteem, your ability to dream. When you tell your money where to go, you are not just organizing numbers. You are reclaiming your ability to make choices. You are saying, I am not a passive passenger in my own life. I decide. That is powerful. That is what Maxwell was pointing to with that quote. So here's your challenge, and I mean this is something you do today, not someday. Sit down, somewhere quiet. Open your notes, grab a pen, pull up your banking app. Write down what came in this month. Write down what must go out. And then, deliberately, on purpose, decide where the rest goes. Don't wonder. Decide. Because a budget isn't about being perfect with money. It's about being intentional with your life. Tell your money where to go. Stop wondering where it went.